Is blindness a barrier? No.
Is deafness a barrier? No.
Are mobility, learning, cognitive disabilities, speech impairments and others, or even a combination of them, barriers? No way. Lack of accessibility is.
Welcome to Web Accessibility for All.
Follow the blind. This journey starts now.
What if I told you that adding ARIA could actually make your site less accessible? Yeah, I know. It sounds backwards, especially when you spend hours trying to make that custom dropdown work for screen reader users. Maybe you thought, I'll just toss an ARIA hidden here, slap a role equal button there, and boom, accessible. But instead, things start acting weird. You're left scratching your head, wondering what just happened. Hey my friend, welcome to a special two-part series on ARIA, here in Web Accessibility for All. Ariel here, front-end engineer, web accessibility specialist, and yes, I build complex interfaces every day as a blind developer. Over these two next episodes, we're going deep into one of the most misunderstood parts of accessibility: the attributes and patterns that make dynamic web interfaces understandable to assistive technologies.
What is ARIA?
It was first published by the W3C's Web Accessibility Initiative back in 2008 as a way to help assistive technologies make sense of all the new dynamic content showing up on the web. See, HTML back then didn't have elements for things like sliders, tab panels, and autocompletes. ARIA was introduced to fill that gap. It gave us a vocabulary to describe custom components semantically. But here is the thing: ARIA doesn't make things accessible on its own. And if you use it wrong, or use it too much, you can actually make your app harder to navigate for screen reader users.
No ARIA is better than bad ARIA.
That is a quote from Steve Faulkner, a longtime accessibility expert and one of the editors behind the ARIA spec. See, ARIA is powerful, but it's also unforgiving. A single misuse can break the experience for every assistive technology user on your site.
When to use ARIA and when not to.
If you remember one thing from this episode, let it be this.
Use semantic HTML first. Use ARIA only when HTML can't do the job.
Wait, I added role equals button and NVDA still doesn't activate it on enter?
Exactly. Because ARIA doesn't make something interactive or semantic on its own. It's just a description layer. It tells assistive tech, hey, this element behaves like a button. But unless you also make it behave like one, users get the worst of both worlds: misleading cues and broken functionality. Let me give you a guiding principle.
If the accessibility tree already understands the element, don't interfere.
That means don't add ARIA roles to native elements that already expose one. The button element already has a role of button. If you add another role on top of it, like role alert, you're not helping. You're confusing things.
Real-world ARIA attributes and what not to do with them.
let's walk through some of the most commonly used and misused ARIA attributes.
ARIA expanded and ARIA controls.
If you've got the toggle button that reveals content, ARIA expanded tells the screen reader whether it's opened or closed, and ARIA controls points to the thing being shown. Now, when your JavaScript toggle the content, you also update ARIA expanded to true or false. Accordingly, you remove the hidden attribute from the content when it's visible, and the connection is clear to assistive tag.
ARIA label vs ARIA labeled.
It's like putting a secret name on an element. You may have an icon-only button, like a trash can, and you do this.
Less button. ARIA label equals delete item greater. Waste basket. Less / button greater.
That's okay in some cases, but it overrides all visible text. So you have to be careful. If there is any visible label, use ARIA labeled by instead, and point it to the element that already has the text.
Less button. ARIA labeled b equals delete label greater. Waste basket. Less span. ID equals delete label greater. Delete item. Less / span greater. Less / button greater.
ARIA describe BB.
These ones for tooltips, hints, and help messages, like error text or input instructions. It provides extra context.
Less label. For equals email greater. Email address. Less / label greater. Less input. ID equals email. Type equals email. ARIA describe b equals email hint / greater. Less p. ID equals email hint greater. Will never share your email. Less / p greater.
ARIA hidden.
ARIA hidden true completely removes an element and all of its children from the accessibility tree, which is useful in some rare cases, like hiding duplicate content for screen reader users. But don't add ARIA hidden just to fix a reading order bug. That usually means a layout or semantic structure needs fixing.
How to check your ARIA with real tools.
Step 1. Open your browser's accessibility tree.
Most modern browsers, Chrome, Firefox, Edge, have a built-in accessibility panel in Dev Tools. In Chrome, for example, 1. Inspect an element. 2. Go to the Accessibility tab. 3. Look at the computed name, role, keyboard focusability, and child relationships. Ask yourself, is the role what I expect? Is the accessible name coming from the label I wrote? Is anything marked as ARIA hidden that shouldn't be?
Step 2. Try it with a screen reader.
Fire NVDA or VoiceOver. Navigate through your component and ask, can I find it? Can I understand what it does? Can I interact with it using only a keyboard?
When ARIA shines, real-world widgets that need it.
ARIA really shines when you are building interactive widgets that don't have a native HTML equivalent, or when the native behavior isn't quite enough for screen reader users. Let me walk you through some of a few examples where ARIA is not just helpful, it's essential.
Toasts and live announcements.
Maybe you've got a toast that says changes saved, a real-time alert like new message received, an error message that appears after form submission. These might be clear for sighted users, but they are often invisible for screen readers, unless you wire up a live region. ARIA Live Polite will read the update after the current task finishes. ARIA Live Assertive will interrupt and read it right away. Role Status or Role Alert are shortcuts that imply these behaviors. Screen reader users hear the message as soon as it's injected in the DOM. No extra focus shift. No surprises.
Tabs.
Role tab list for the container. Role tab for each clickable tab. Role tab panel for the content area. Plus ARIA selected, ARIA controls, and proper keyboard support.
Sliders.
Role slider, ARIA value min, ARIA value max, and ARIA value now. Optional, ARIA label or ARIA labeled by to describe the value.
Tree views.
Role tree item, ARIA expanded for open and closed branches. ARIA level for nested depth and focus management as user navigates with arrow keys. These roles are contracts. If you use them, you're telling assistive tech this behaves like a slider or a tab or a tree. And if your component doesn't actually behave that way, if the keyboard navigation isn't right or the state is not in sync, then you're breaking that contract.
Minimal, responsible ARIA.
So how do you keep things honest and usable? Follow this principle.
Use only as much ARIA as you need to describe the behavior you've already built. No more, no less.
That means let native elements speak for themselves whenever possible. Use ARIA roles only when you are creating something truly custom. Keep your ARIA attributes accurate and synchronized with real state. And always test with both the accessibility tree and the screen reader.
Wrapping up.
ARIA is about describing behavior you've already built, not faking behavior, not forcing rules, just describing what's really there. So, use the accessibility tree in DevTools, fire up your screen reader, actually listen to what your UI is saying or not saying. Is the user being told what's going on? Can they act on it? Can they trust what they hear? If the answer is yes, then you are already building a more accessible web. This has been Web Accessibility for All. In the second episode of this series, I'll walk you through the ARIA Authoring Practices Guide. Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us today. Subscribe for a new challenge next week. And don't be shy. Leave us a review or ask your accessibility questions online. See you next week for another episode of Web Accessibility for All.